I just want to say, I made, I didn't realize that the last video I did, basically, I didn't realize that I accidentally unplugged my mic. I don't know how much of that video was recording. I was pretty much explaining some real important stuff. At least, it's still, viable in any other Street Fighter. But basically, like a lot of people are like, "Oh, Street Fighter is just like a jab and grab." That's not really true if you know how the game works. Like for example, like I'm gonna set the opponent. Okay, he's set to. Um, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna set it to block though, just to explain something, because like a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's." This is probably gonna be the last video that I do like explaining videos, other than just it's gonna be auto, yeah. So basically, the point I'm trying to make is like there is a way to know if they're gonna jab or grab you. Like look at the animation. Like if I grab, look what happens. You see how like either way something comes out, right? You see when I grab, his hand comes out like he's about to kind of grab you. It doesn't look identical to the jab, but it's pretty. I would say it's pretty close. You know what I'm saying? But this is the point I'm trying to make. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, Street Fighter is just a jab and grab. Okay, this is the point I'm trying to make, though. Like, you're always going to prepare for a grab, right? If they jab, what happens? You get put in block stun or hit stun. Like, right there, I landed it, and what happens? I got pushed back. Hold up. But what I'm trying to say is, always prepare for the grab. At the highest level, this is how I look at it. At the highest level, always prepare to break the grab. That means escape the grab by grabbing at the same time. Well, to escape a grab, you have to grab shortly after your opponent tries to grab you. It's not like Tekken where you can duck a grab, apparently. I don't agree with that. They should change that in Tekken 7 and Tekken 8. I have seen players that I played in ranked matches that they ducked my grab. I completely disagree with that. I don't think it applies to every single grab in the game. I think there's some grabs in Tekken, especially at least with the character I was using, that he grabs you either way, whether you're crouching or not. I could be wrong about that. I know he has martial law has a grab that can actually be combo. You know what I'm saying? Because like you're going to run into a lot of players that like block everything you do, block every combination that you throw at them, and then like you'll get probably a grab if after like 20 attempts at grabbing them, you'll probably get like finally one that goes through. You know what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make is like it's not a jab and grab. If you look at it correctly, it really is not a jab and grab. So like. Okay, I'm putting my guard at always. Look, this is the point I'm trying to make. Okay, let's say I pressure my opponent, I go jump kick, he blocks, I do jab. As soon as I press an attack button, like let's say you see something that looks like the jab coming at you, it's obviously going to be standing position. You can grab crouching. No, it won't even recognize that. So that's good. I thought you could grab crouching. So you can only grab standing, but it'll grab a crouching opponent. I thought you can be grabbing, but this is the point I'm trying to make. That's very good that they made it like that, by the way. Because if they didn't make it like that, it would be extremely difficult, way more difficult to get out of that situation. The point I'm trying to make is this, though. A lot of people say, oh, Street Fighter is just a jab and grab. If you see a jab coming at you, it's a pretty fast attack. So if you see the jab coming at you, and you prepare for the grab, obviously, so you're going to be blocking it. If you see that it has not made a block stun sound, this is the block stun sound. Every game is a little bit different though. If it does not make that sound right away after they jab you, it's a grab. So just prepare for the grab to break the grab because you know that what they did was a grab. Because the jab is going to come out real fast and it's going to make that sound when you block it. The grab is not going to make that sound when they do it, but it's going to look very similar to the jab. Not identical, but it's going to look pretty similar. And a lot of players like get confused by that and they think it's a jab. They think it's a grab and they'll try to, block. I mean, they'll try to grab and they'll get jabbed into a full combo. Like, you know what I mean? They'll get jabbed into an uppercut or a level 3 super right there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of players like don't understand that. A lot of players like what I see a lot of intermediate players or beginner players do is that they fear the grab so much, which you should not do at the highest level, that they get so scared of being grabbed over and over again that they start panicking and either neutral jumping, which I disagree in Street Fighter 6, and I think it was even in Street Fighter 5. Um, uh, the reason I disagree with it is because grabbing is a big part of Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of opening like a high level player's defense, right? So what a lot of players do is they'll neutral jump your your grab and then counter you on the way down. I completely disagree with that. I do believe they should be first to act if you miss a grab. Like let's say they neutral jump and you go for a grab. I do believe that the opponent that jumped in the air should be first to attack, to pressure you or attack you before you can do like let's say for example an uppercut. Like let's say in this game in Third Strike is a little bit different. Like if I go for a grab and they neutral jump me, I can actually still be able to pressure them with an anti-air super, a whole lot of things in that situation. I honestly, this game also had parry, so like you could even parry that. So a lot of players would never go for like light punch uppercut. You know what I'm saying? Because that's an easy parry in the especially when you neutral jump. Ken's hard punch uppercut is probably not as effective at the pinnacle of their jump. It works better closer to like maybe around head level. By the time you pop you actually do the move, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like it's gonna come out when they're around like head level. I That's the way I look at it. Is like if their feet are kind of already passing your character's head level, where your character's head is, by the time you actually input it and it comes out, they'll probably be able to block, like because it takes that much time to actually, you know what I'm saying, do the move. So like that's the way I look at it. A lot of players like I know that in the newer games, like ever since Street Fighter 4, there's backdash invincibility, which means it's you can escape a throw by backdashing. Um, like I said, I completely disagree with that. There should be no backdash throw invincibility. There should be no grapplers in the game that could just grab you out of defense. They should have to combo the command grab and the command grab supers like Zangief in Street Fighter 5, he could grab you in a combo. He could combo the super command grab, and he could also just grab you if you're just playing defense and you're not avoiding it by, and the only way to, I hate to say it like that, because it should not be like that from a developer's standpoint. They should not be making it like that, but you have to neutral jump it. If you see that, like, they're going to super command grab you, with the exception of Super Turbo's a little different. I haven't seen too many players that can actually raw 720, which is really more like a 540, and do a super with Zangief or T-Hawk. They usually buffer the crouching light kick, crouching jab into the super. But like I said, I even said there's a way out of that. No one believes me that like there is a way out of that, but there is. A lot of players assume that it was inescapable, that you had to take like 50, 60% of your damage, depending on your character, even worse than that sometimes it seems like. You know what I'm saying? Like in Super Turbo, Zangief for T-Hawk, like a lot of players try to buffer that jab before they do the super. And it works whether you're on block especially, but the what you're going to want to do, like, cause like what they'll do is try to get a hard knockdown with that sweep, and then go for that cross up splash. They call it the splash. That's when Zangief does like jumping hard punch. I think it's down hard punch, where it looks like he's trying to belly flop on top of you on the other side. And after that, they'll do like crouching light kick, crouching light kick, crouching light kick, and then just out of nowhere a super comes out and it grabs you. And a lot of players like assume that was inescapable, but what you do is you get hit by those after you block the cross up. You get hit by the crouching light kick, the crouching jab that they do, and not only will it push you further away, they can't grab you while you're in hit stun. So if the super does come out while you're still in hit stun, it will not grab you because you can't get grabbed during hit stun. So that's why I'm saying like that's it's better to get hit by like crouching jab, crouching light kick than to get 60, 70% of your damage taken away by one idiot that just knows how to twirl around a joystick or a controller, analog stick. You know, it sucks to lose to a player that just does that one thing and like, oh my God, it's inescapable. Like everyone thought that. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, like if you get caught in hit stun, um, they can combo you, but they can't grab you after it. So what's gonna happen is if the super comes out, you're gonna be in hit stun and it'll miss entirely. So now you could counter them for trying to do a super command grab when you were in hit stun and it won't work. It only works when you're on block. So unfortunately, you have to take damage either way, but like the correct thing to do is take whatever is less damage, which is unfortunately like, you have to take damage in that situation, but it's better than getting caught with a super command grab that takes half your health bar or worse, depending on what character you are, you know what I'm saying? But that should not even be in the game. You know what I'm saying? So like right there, you see how fast it comes out. I press it, it's like there within a fraction of a second. So like if you see that like you block something that looks like a standing jab and it never made, you should be blocking. You can get hit by it if you're an idiot, but it is fast, so like it makes sense. A lot of people get caught by these things, but if you see that it looks like they're just trying to stand jab you and you're and for a fact you're blocking it, and no sound has come out like near instantly after they've done it, then it's a grab. So like, unfortunately in the new games, I did complain about it in Street Fighter V. But I disagree with that, like, because what happens is on a hard knockdown, a lot of players will dash forward, and in that situation, like you're in a grab situation after that. If they time it correctly, you're in a grab situation after that. You can't even be in a counter situation after that. But if they neutral jump, if they neutral jump and you go for the grab. Which it's like the reason I'm saying that is because it's such a difficult situation, especially online. I don't honestly recommend any player does this. This is like, if it works out for you, I disagree. It should not even be in the game. I think they should act first because that's a situation. I guess I could like play it a little bit better, but the neutral jump, I just completely disagree with because like you're in a situation where they're most certainly probably going to dash up and grab. You do have a little time. I mean, I guess, I am playing online a lot. So like seeing these situations is way harder than when you play offline. Honestly, if a player like neutral jumped me in third strike, I would probably have them test their parry skills against my, Shin Ryuken or Shin Shoryuken with Ryu and just counter them with the anti-air super. So like a lot of players get real nervous. Like I even saw Daigo Umehara when he was playing Tokido. Tokido goes for a cross-up. It was a Ryu mirror match in Street Fighter V. Tokido goes for a cross-up, and then Daigo goes for a backdash, assuming that Tokido is going to go for a grab. And I was like, why did he do that? He was completely dominating the match. He was completely winning. And he just completely like just cracked and just gave the match away to Tokido. I don't know why he did that. Backdash is not the right answer to that situation. You should play proper defense, which in that situation, in my opinion, is expecting that they're probably going to go with a crouching light kick. And if you block the first one, you know what I'm saying? You're basically in the clear after that. If you're good enough, you can counter them before the second one comes out. You know what I'm saying? It's a real difficult situation because, like I said, command grab characters are the problem because they're not, a lot of times they don't have to be good. They're grabbing players that are playing good defense. And it should not be like that. It should not be like that. It should not be like that. So shout out to T-Mobile. What was I going to say? Yeah, basically that's another thing. That's a lot of people are like, oh, Street Fighter is just a jab and grab. It really isn't. It really isn't. If you really play the game and understand the game, it is combo based, but it's very combo specific. If you're not practicing your max distance normals and what combos into what, then you're probably gonna struggle at the highest level. Um, Let me see. So let me take the guard off entirely. That was basically something I wanted to explain, like, because a lot of people are like, oh, Street Fighter is a jab and grab. If you look at it as being a jab and grab, you're never going to enjoy it, because what happens is, like, in a situation where, you know, a player makes a mistake like that. I messed up. I don't know why it started lagging. Let me see. You know, it could lead to, like, a lot of situations. You know what I mean? Like, I disagree with them popping up after the medium punch, because the medium punch uppercut actually keeps them in the ground. If you do if you do try to combo Ken's light punch never use Ken's light punch uppercuts to combo into level 3 super and third strike. It's way different now because they made the hitboxes way bigger, and in these earlier Japanese fighting games, I love Japanese fighting games. I think they are the foundation for every fighting game that is successful right now. You know, Dragon Ball is the original foundation, if you ask me. And in a lot of ways, Superman, you know, from DC Comics is really in a lot of ways the foundation for Dragon Ball. So, like, if it wasn't for Superman, you know, like, I know it sounds stupid, but if you really look at the story of Dragon Ball and Goku, it's very similar to Superman here in America. Like, it's basically the same thing, only instead of, like, using lasers from his hands, he's using lasers from his eyes. And, like, you get what I'm saying? So, like, in a lot of ways, it's very similar. So shout outs to Superman DC Comics. I'm still waiting for that Marvel DC Comics game. I would love to see a DC Comics versus Marvel, DC versus Marvel. I think the fighting game community will, you know, embrace that with open arms for sure. All right, now I took the defense off. This is another thing I was trying to explain. If, like, there's a Third Strike tournament for Evolution tournament this year. I'm very happy that Third Strike is back. You know, I always thought Street Fighter 3 was an amazing game when it first came out. I didn't know about tournaments back when I was, like, you know, younger. But I always thought Third Strike was amazing, you know, because I did have a Dreamcast. So I did know about Third Strike and all these games. You know, unfortunately, you know, back then, the Japanese community would get these fighting games way before we ever did. Like, PlayStation 2 eventually got Anniversary Collection for Street Fighter, which had, like, hyper fighting, which a lot of people out there are confusing with Ultra Street Fighter 2, but it's really just a combination of every single Street Fighter 2 that ever came out. And each, like, let's say, for example, if you pick World Warrior Street Fighter 2 Ryu is, like, slightly different than Super Turbo Ryu, because, you know, it's just, honestly, I don't know why you would ever pick regular Ryu. I mean, his uppercut is better, but at the highest level, it's almost, it's basically irrelevant. At the highest level, people know very well in hyper fighting or Super Turbo to fear Ryu's uppercut, because it's just so dominant. Maybe not as dominant as the original Street Fighter 2 Ryu uppercut, but you also get a full screen super that completely shuts down Sagat, which is considered to be easily the best character that does not have a super meter. No doubt about it. You know, I mean, Sagat just hits you with 2 uppercuts and the round is over. And his uppercut basically goes through everything in the game. So, like, and like, the reason why it's so effective is, you know, his low fireballs, which you basically, the game was not designed the way it is now. Like, even if you, like, at the wrong distance, if you tried to neutral jump Sagat's low fireball, he could just walk up and standing hard kick you. Like, it's way different now. It doesn't come out as fast. In fact, I think they should angle it so that he can never standing hard kick you out of the air. I would at least respect him as a player if he just did a true anti-air. But like I said, like, this is a, Ken has probably the easiest low combo starter. It probably doesn't look that dangerous. Think of it as more of as like a Mortal Kombat combo where it's like X X, square X. I'm talking about PlayStation control layout. Think of that as like a Mortal Kombat combo. Basically, that is a true combo in Street Fighter unless you're playing the computer. The computer just does unrealistic human. It's impossible for a human to actually pull these kind of things off unless they have a programmed joystick. They do sell those where you can program your joystick to just basically activate a super by pressing one button and the super just automatically comes out. I never use one of those things. I don't have to because I have actual talent in the game. But what I'm saying is, unless they parry, that basically is a true super. I mean, true block string is what the fighting game community calls it. Is that they have to basically